Everybody is, Buddhism say very important to your motivation. I think motivation is not just only study Buddha Dharma. Usually whatever you do, motivation is very good. If you have very bad motivation, then whatever you do, actions also go to the wrong direction. Then you have good motivation, then sometimes that stop that, but the motivation takes to good place. Therefore, we say, how can motivation we have to set up? We say all sentient is very kind for us. Anyone, someone we don't know them, we say very kind. And also, whenever we know people who have connection for us, more kind for us, we say all the things, the independent. Dependent each other. Interdependent. Good. Okay. Each other. For example, we say mom and kid. Without kid, we cannot call this person mom, right? Without mom, we cannot say kid. And husband, wife. He says, not husband, we cannot call that woman, we can call wife. Like example like that, then he said, usually Tibetan we call the water, the ocean here, we call here and there, right? Because without there, we cannot find here. Like that. All things interdependent. Therefore, we say all sentient beings very kind for us. We wish to they're all happy. We wish to them, happy life. But right now we don't have power. Even we cannot stand up our leg. Can we say this? Feet? We are not.
Cannot stand on our feet.
Stand on our feet. Yeah, we are not. Right now we have not ability to stand our feet, our own feet. Just forgot to others. We help others. We just said. And most, we say help others means to try to make others to happy, full happiness. Right now, sometimes we are happy that the happy is not very stable, right? All change. If you have very nice time in the morning, there is something going wrong. If you today everything is fine, then tomorrow going to wrong. They're all very unstable. Then we all wish all the beings in the small insects. They're all same as us, looking for the happiness. We wish to be free from all the suffering, all the problems. Therefore, right now we don't have any power to help for others. Then who has? We call Buddha. And Buddha, he has power, ability to help for all sentient beings to free from the suffering. Then also we have second question. Then if he has power, ability to all sentient beings free from all the suffering, then why he doesn't do? What did he help for us? He has compassion. He has power, then why he live for us here? We have people who have that, but this is not like that, How Buddha, he help for us. He give for us advice. And we follow the advice, then complete 100% we will be free all suffering. But we don't follow, right? For example, the teachers of the college or school, they have ability to give for us education, but if we don't follow that, what do you call it? Teaching, or the instruction, lessons, then they cannot do anything, right? Like that, then we say all sentient beings has ability to, what we call it, all sentient beings wish to free from suffering. Also, we also wish for all them, including for us. But right now we have not power. Then who has Buddha? Then when we reach the Buddhahood, we achieve the Buddhahood, then we can do all sentient beings to happy. Therefore, benefit, in order to benefit all sentient beings, I have to achieve enlightenment. Therefore, whatever I do, benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, I'm going to achieve enlightenment. Therefore, I'm going to study Dharma, pray books, like that kind of motivation. Therefore, Buddha's teachings, I think most people know. Buddha is some religious person. 500 years he was come to India. First he came same as us. Then he meditation and subdued his old delusion mind. Then he achieved enlightenment. Achieved enlightenment means free from all sufferings. Achieve full, complete happy. Buddha, Tibetan called Sera Je. Sera means you free from all the sufferings, delusions. Je means you understand all things. Compared to whatever we see here, we can see very clearly, right? Buddha can see all the things like looking here. Therefore, he achieved all the qualities, good qualities. Then he subdued, abandoned all the negative things. Therefore, we call it complete enlightenment. Therefore, when we achieve that, this can't potential. That kind of potential, cheap enlightenment, we all have. We all have. If we do not, it's our case at least, we do have. Therefore, whenever we do study, practice very well, then we will become Buddha one day, 100%. Happiness. Then, anyway, then we have a lot of problems, right? Small problem, medium problem, big problem, right? Everybody has. Anybody, we just looking, just people walking, and maybe go to the train, then we don't see that, but we just go detail, then talk couple words each other. Even you rich, doesn't matter, you're very powerful, doesn't matter, you're very famous, doesn't matter, you're very poor, doesn't matter. Everybody has problems. Only Buddha doesn't have problem. He can, first we just say, hi, how are you, nice, then we talk a little bit about situation, then everybody has something not very fixed. Then, when the problems come, then our mind's not happy. Right? Therefore, what problems come in? Because we follow our mind. Well, whatever mind thinks, we can go there, right? Today you guys mind thinks, I'm going to center then. If body tired, body have no choice. Get up to put dirt, you have to come. The body says, it's too much. Then just, body just follow that. Then you say, I'm tired, but today I'm going to, maybe the beach is too cold, too hot. Maybe it was, what we call it, skiing. Then it doesn't matter. Body hurt, that doesn't matter. Mind check. Then we follow the mind. Mind follow the delusions. Therefore, we have all the 10 problems. All the problems come from cause. Cause is the delusion. We wish to stop the problem, we create the cause of the suffering all the time. Therefore, the problems unlimitless. same as the oceans, how you say?
Waves.
Waves. One going, then another one coming. Always like that, right? Always like that. Same as our problems. You fix today one problem, then a couple of days you have something wrong. Right? Therefore, solving problem is, unwanted for us. Happen things. Unwanted. Unwanted. And, we don't want to sick, we got sick. We don't want to get old, we got old. Right? We don't want to, die. We won't go to die. We have no choice. Therefore, this is the big problems. Then, we don't want to get angry, then we get angry. We don't want to jealous, we get jealous. Anybody wish to get jealous, angry? All right. But we always, this happen. Why? It's ignorant, annoying. Therefore, Buddha teach for us to don't follow the ignorance. Don't get angry. If you get angry, you lose your happiness. We wish to happy, but this is one example, okay? Buddha said, don't get angry. If you're angry, you lose your happiness. But be angry, very easy, very small things, right? Then Buddha has power, that doesn't matter. We doesn't follow the Buddha's advice. Maybe you are very strong headache, go to hospital, they give the medicine. That medicine has ability to, cure that you are sick, but it's disease. But you doesn't take the medicine, you leave the medicine here, you say, I have problem, my headache, then just you wish, then you may be ill, then because you doesn't take medicine. If medicine has a power that you doesn't take, then you never get, you got the doctor, you got the medicine on your table, but you leave medicine here, you just say, it doesn't work right. But this is not for the medicine, it's not for the doctor, it's for us. Same, this is exactly, Buddha's teaching. Buddha has ability that, but he doesn't follow whatever Buddha follows, then still we are here, always stop the very, very mud, is it called mud? Mud. We fix one feet come up, then another feet go down, like that, right? Do you guys walk in the mud? Maybe you guys never. When we was a kid, always walk the mud, just we come here, then another one go down, like that. Oh yeah, exactly. We go to snow. We go to snow, the one feet go down, one feet come down. You guys walk snow? Like that, always stuck someplace. This is because we wish to happy that we follow the cause of the suffering. That's contradiction, right? Because we wish to, now you guys have the heat blanket. It was heat blanket. Yes. They have two buttons, right? You can put one cold, one place hot, right? These I want to hot, but you push it to cold place all the time. That doesn't come hot because you do contradiction, right? It's exactly same to, our daily, our lives. Then we follow the ignorance. Then ignorance annoying the real reality. Then we have very strong ego. Ego brings all the problems. And try to less ego, try to be a little patient. Then we want to slowly to be happy. Now, happiness is, you cannot borrow, you cannot buy, you cannot find a Google. You cannot, even if you say, I need to happy, you need to maybe security. No, I don't want any problems. I want people not security people be here. It doesn't bring the happiness. Happiness start to our own mind. Okay? And slowly, it's not easy, but Who doesn't give them always unhappy? Our ego, our angry, our attachment, our hatred. We follow those kind, then they must always bring to problems. Therefore, taught with less ego, less attachment, less jealous. Like that, then I already explained to 10 onwards last week. Then this we have right now your problems, very, very small problem, very small problem. Because we can ask people, we can ask friends, I have the problem, can you help me come here? We have to ask them, we can share the people. Then we have, now we talk about today, a little bit unwanting hurt. We say, and happiness and suffering is all come from the cause, conditions. Therefore, you create the non-virtuous action. They tell you the, because hell on. You just say slowly that. Then you create the cause, the positive action. They tell you the heaven. Then what kind of action taking you the hell on, walk to 10 non-virtues. I already explained the 10 non-virtues. In other religions they call 10 commandments. It's very similar. And you follow that, they tell you the other place. Then those places, many different hot place, and cold place, and hungry place. Hellrum, hungry ghost, and cold animal. Then, we can call lorum, you can call lorum, hellrum. Hellrum has also hot hellrum, and cold hellrum. I'm not going to really detail that things. We already finished the hot hellrum the last week. Today going to the cold hellrum. No coming? It's okay?
It's okay.
Don't know what we got. Protest, okay. Wait, no. Therefore, okay, now stop to my talking.
And so it is very important to contemplate on the sufferings of the lower realms.
아니 lama chupena la ngenso dunga babi meji ni ne kenjo la sha sun do os ngenso go dunga la ji ga yana ani tela kenjo la chamde ji ta sun de lo ji re
So the reason that it is important to contemplate on the sufferings of the lower realm is so that you can understand about the sufferings, and generally and most important is to generate kind of sense of fear towards sufferings, dislike or fear, whatever you call it. So when you have that fear, so you don't want it, that's so terrible and I don't want to experience this, so therefore I need to protect myself from that. So in order to do so, in order to be protected from that suffering, then I have to take refuge in the three jewels. So then taking refuge, the intention, the wish to take refuge in the three jewels comes from generating fear towards the suffering of the lower realms. And so it is important to think about the sufferings all the time, every day. So if you think about the suffering, then you will have the wish to be free from the suffering. If you don't think about the suffering, then you will not have the wish to be free from suffering. So that is a positive mind, wishing to be free from the suffering, which we call liberation. The renunciation. So without that thought, wanting to be free from suffering, which we call renunciation, without that, there's no way you can achieve liberation. And also without that kind of renunciation, there's no way you can generate bodhicitta.
근데 상주고 샘제면 상제요 말이야.
And without generating bodhicitta, there's no way you can gain enlightenment.
근데 이제 또 차선 내가 좀 싫어요.
So see, this all depends on that. So therefore, thinking about that is very important.
근데 이제 아니 하나 그래서 민주제발라 동반이 공부 당시 아니 동아 공부니 가져나 아니 동반이 공부를 나다 동아 되는 상황한테 다 수치하는 왔어.
So, because generating renunciation is very important in order to achieve liberation, in order to generate bodhicitta, in order to achieve enlightenment, all these things. Therefore, it is very important, to generate that. And in order to generate that, we have to think about the suffering. So we have to meditate on the suffering. Think about it, contemplate on the suffering, and meditate on the suffering. So meditating on the suffering is more important than meditating on emptiness or bodhicitta or whatever. In order to generate renunciation. So meditating on suffering is very important in this case.
근데 다 동아 가리 공부는 나도 막 사회 동아도 다 정회 동아 그런 시험서 말아. 다 대나지 수소 되는 다 깨바니 간에도 수소 때 깨고 무반으로 전에 벌써 온 그랬어.
And so when we are meditating on the sufferings of the lower realms, like the hot hell and the cold hells, and the sufferings of the hungry ghosts or animals, then we're just thinking, okay, they have this suffering, they have this suffering. We understand that. Then we apply that into meditation. When we meditate on that, we apply that upon ourselves. So imagine oneself being there and going through those sufferings. How will one feel? So that's the kind of feeling one should generate, and that's what we call meditating on the sufferings of the lower realms.
된지기 동아대야. 그 된지기 동아도 소소는 냐나 소소 냐도사래 왜? 기도사래 왜?
So you think about the sufferings, compare the sufferings that we have and sufferings that there is. And we are not able to even bear the sufferings that we are going through, right? And how much it will be if we have to go through that kind of suffering. So we have to think like that.
근데 다 된지가 동아도 소소냐 맞나? 되게 저 먹게 말해. 대마사스. 절 메워서 보면 저 메워서 말이죠.
And so thinking about their suffering, then being terrified of that, then we should think, oh, there's no way I can experience that suffering. So then you should generate a strong sense of kind of a fear. Feeling terrible about it, and then you have to think, okay, so I don't want to experience that kind of suffering. So what causes me to experience the suffering is the non-virtuous action, so especially the 10 non-virtuous actions.
For example, we don't want to go jail, right? Everybody knows the suffering of the jail. Therefore, we don't want to. The reason I don't want to go jail doesn't work. We don't. Who tells you to go jail? We broken the law, they take you. Is correct? Broken the law, they take us to the go jail. Therefore, in here you guys also very education people, they follow the laws very, very well. Because it's not you really can't, you really can't handle. If okay, I don't know if it's true or not. This thing maybe I'm that's also correct.
And so the reason why you keep the laws, right, where you follow the law is not because you have compassion towards your country, right?
Because we love ourselves. We know we broken the law, go jail. Therefore we keep the laws very well in this country. For some very good education here. Therefore the reason is I like myself, then I don't want to broken the law. You know, I like my country, therefore I'm not broken law. I don't know, maybe some people do that, but most not. Most, I don't want to, go to my, even you driving very careful, right? Because we don't want to cut the cop. Cop is a cop.
Yeah.
Because you kill the cop, we know. Or my insurance go away, and we put them my black mark, ticket, and we just ourselves. We not what we call compassion or something that the cause or the government. We just follow. We love for us. When they catch whatever happened, we know. We did meditation. We didn't know. Therefore, very careful. How much you careful, then you don't get a car. You don't get a car. You don't get the ticket, right? That's exactly the same. We don't want to the day. First we need to understand the sufferings, understand the cause, then try to stop the cause. Example, we have, I call it tsema.
Tong.
We have
Tong.
tongue. When we walk every day here, we have some tongue here. Is that tongue?
Tong,
No,
a needle.
needle, you know that?
Thorn.
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 Thorn. Okay. Some we walk here, always, always stop here, stop then. We just keep cut a little bit here. Then again, they just come in back. When you cut that, just ground, and they never come back, right? They were exactly like that. We have today a little problem, they just fix, then they will come again. Third, you have to cut out on the ground and the ignorance. The most ignorance, you always say, I. Try to a little bit, come down a little bit, I. Sometimes put a little bit hot water, sometimes a little bit cold water. If your eyes too hot, put cold water. Too cold, put maybe hot water. Like that, anyway. Therefore, they talk about here, there are also many pages. I'm not going to details, and I don't want to put you guys every day, many times. Special. It's true, it's happened, but we don't want to hurt. Especially, therefore, I'm taught how much to go fast. Then you guys also read this, then meditation. How can, if I'm that person, how can I feel? Meditation that. Then you wish, I don't want to go there. It's a terrible place. I don't want to see. Then what do? Stop the cause. What stop? The main cause is I. Always me, right? Always me fast all the time. Let it come down. Then, angry, hatred, attachment, jealous, those kind. Try to stop, then you don't want to go there. This is the cause. Therefore,
And so if you think about the sufferings well, then you will have a strong wish to take refuge in the three jewels. And so Shantideva said there's a good quality of the suffering is that if you think about the sufferings, then you will have the wish to be free from the sufferings. And if you have the wish to be free from the sufferings, then you look for the cause that brings you the sufferings. And then understanding that non-virtuous actions bring sufferings, and therefore you will have a wish to not create any of the non-virtuous actions. Also, there is no renunciation without suffering. If we don't have the pain, we will not have a wish to be free from pain, right? So we don't have a wish to be free from happiness, right? Because happiness is a good thing, therefore we don't want to be separated from it. So if the happiness was as bad as the suffering, then we always have a wish to be free from happiness as well, right? And also Shantideva said again, we always have a wish to be free from the suffering, but we're always running after the cause of the suffering. We're always creating cause of the sufferings. And we want to have happiness, but we destroy the cause of the happiness as if it is our enemy.
Okay? 대는 뭐 보면 시다든데 되게 전에는 막 예다 이거 중에 아니 예다도 뭐 봐마 더 무지 lokshos.
So now we're going to read this part now, the cold head, all the way to the surface of the hunger ghost. Okay.
What page?
So we're in the blue book, blue cover book. It is page 333.
Yes.
And anyway, it is under the outline 163. Outline 163. So if you look for the headings there, outline 163.
근데 로그가 된다고 하면 당겨 되는 거 없어.
So while reading, try to contemplate on the meaning as well.
Okay?
Alright, you got it all? Okay, so let's read. The cold hairs are on the level with the hot hairs and lies to the north, which is why these land are now so cold. The cold hairs are separated from each other vertically by 2,000 yojanas. You may be wondering, in that case, the cold hairs would not be on level with the hot hairs because the hot hairs are separated from each other vertically by 4,000 yojanas. There may be 4,000 yojanas between each ground surface of the hot hairs, but each of the cold hairs has snow-covered mountains that are 2,000 yojanas high, so the cold hairs are in fact level with the hot hairs. When about to be born there, we desire cold bodily sensation at the point of death. This activates the karma to be reborn in the cold house. You experience the partner as if you were dreaming. You are born in the cold house, which is like waking up. There are snow-covered mountains in these places, each many yojanas high. There is no light, no sun, moon, fires, and so forth. It is so dark that you can't see. The ground below is a glacier, a blizzard as high between these two, a cold wind blows. There is no means of keeping warm, no fire, no sun, no clothes, nothing. There are 8 such cold hells, each one progressively colder. There is the hell of blisters, which burn a couple of blisters on the body. The hell of burst blisters is even colder. Here the blisters, blood and thin. The next hell is even colder. The body streaks with dark light, and you can't move, and all you can say is burn. In the next hell, which is even colder, you won't even say. You can only make that sound, hue, from the back of your throat. In the next hell, you can't even make the sound. The mouth is tightly closed, the teeth clenched. The next hell is even colder. Your body is still as corpse. It turns blue in color and makes a cracking sound. It cracks like a blue lotus. The next is even colder. Your flesh cracks like red lotuses. In the next, your flesh develops 100s or 1,000 times more lotus-like cracks. In the pure hell, the hells bloated. The bodies of the hell beings are almost filled. The snow-covered mountains, like the jeweled stars that dwell in stupa. The bodies are so frozen that they can't move. Chandra Gomlin's letter to a disciple says, a wind that has wrinkles seeps into their very bones. Then in the bodies shiver and bend into a crash. Insects grow from hundreds of birds, blisters feed on them, and fat, thin, marrow drip out. This is many flies and poisonous snakes gather around the limb dripping from the cracks in the hell beings' bodies, and they protect them. Even the drops of the blood falling on the ground are still connected to the being's consciousness. They experience the suffering of the drop freezing and cracking. And in addition, the beings experience such sufferings as being tormented by various infectious diseases. The Jataka tells mentions of this cause of being born in these hells. Holders of nihilism view will, in all their future lives, dwell in these places of darkness and cold winds. They will contract disease that rot their bones, and will put their lives in death. In other words, the cause is such means holding wrong nihilistic view. For example, the view that the law of cause and effect does not exist. We have accumulated many causes for being born in the hell, and they have not degenerated sins. These causes are stealing other people's clothes, removing covers from statues, or throwing sentient beings such as lice out into the freezing cold. The lifespan of beings in the cold hells are as follows. Through sanghas and shabaka levels, state that these sentient beings may have lifespan as half as long as those born in the great hell. Vasubandhu's treasure of metaphysics says, empty my bin of sesame by taking out a seed once every 100 years, gives the lifespan in the hell of blisters. The other lifespan increased 20-fold each. In other words, the lifespan is as long as it takes to completely empty a bin holding 80 Magadha standard bushels of sesames by throwing out on its seed every 100 years. 1/80th of a bushel holds about 50,000 sesame seeds, and so it will take 2 trillion years to empty the bin. This is the lifespan of beings in the first of the cold hells, the hells of blisters. In the hells below this, it increases 20 times each. Thinking about the sufferings in the vocational hells. These hells are in the human realms, on the nation, the chub, and so forth. At one time, some merchants invited Arya, some Great Treatise, to accompany them to an island. He strangled behind them and walked to the ocean shore, where there was a beautiful temple. The 500 members of the Tsongkhapa, the monks purged in the canoe, but the moon passed, everything turned to the normal. He asked for the cause, and was told that it was the result of their not being friendly to each other at the noonday meals and fighting in the past when the teachings of the Buddha Kashyapa were still inexperienced. The Arya also saw hell beings in the form of walls, pillars, pestles, ropes, brooms, water pipes, and cooking pots. Later, when the Arya returned from this journey, he asked Shakyamuni about all these. We have already dealt with the Buddha's reply concerning the pillar-like beings in the section on the preparatory rites. The pestle-like creatures, however, had been a monk in the time of Buddha Kashyap's teaching, and had lost his temper and said to a novice, "You will ought to be pounded like a pestle." And the monk had become the pestle-like creature as a result of these insulting words. Pabongka Rinpoche told how these beings had been experiencing the things from the time of the teachings of the Buddha Kashyapa till present. Once there was a ship's captain named Kotikana, who had been born with an earring set with the gems worth 10 minutes gold piece. Captain Kotikana had sailed away to obtain jewels. He fell asleep by the ocean shore, and the other merchants were about him. He woke to find that a storm wind had crashed and the donkey could not pick up the scent. Kotikana wandered around, unable to find the path. There was a house like a palace, and in it was a man surrounded by 4 goddesses. The captain saw that the night the man had such bliss, it was like that of the gods. But by day the house becomes burning iron licked by fire. The woman turned into 4 ferocious dogs. The man fell down on his face, and the dogs ate his flesh bit by bit. Then after the sun had gone down, things reverted to their former state. He asked the man what the cause was. The man said he used to be a butcher in the town of Shira. But on the advice of Arya Katanani, he had taken vows not to kill at night. He had not been able to take his vows for the daytime, and this was the result. The man said he had a son in Shira who was butchered. Kotikana was to give the son a message. You should not kill when you give alms to Arya Katyana. You should decide the root virtue to me, dedicate virtue to me. As proof, the man told Kotikana he had hidden a pot of gold in the place in his son's house, where the swords were kept. Kotikana moved on. There was a fine house where a man and 2 beautiful women enjoyed the peak of happiness and bliss. But the captain saw it was quite the opposite at night, when the women turned into snakes and ate the men, stirring from the head. Kotikana asked the man why this was. The man said that he was a Brahman in the Shidra. He used to be an adulterer, but he took the vow from Katan not to do this during the day. This was the result, he said. Go and talk with the son I have in Shidra. I gave Kotikana a similar message to the previous one to take back. And as proof of it, he told Kotikana he had hidden a pot full of gold under the stove. When the captain moved on the 4-legged throne, a hungry ghost held up each leg. In terms of Rinpoche told the rest of the story. There are some of the occasional hells. There are also occasional hells in the human realms. Once in India, when Venerable Sriman was going through his daily business, he saw the form of a beautiful house in the sky. The house was ablaze with fire, and in it there was a man, a rebirth of a butcher. The butcher's servant was reborn as the mountains of bones underwood. There is a story of a cluster of animals who was reborn with bodies as huge as mountain. This was the serious karmic result of his actions. We have already accumulated many instances of karma, the results which are sure to experience in these ways. We bought a ticket to the fact that all these things are certain to happen to us. One great adept saw a huge fish in Lake Yodel. The fish was the rebirth of a man called Lama of Tsongkhapa province. While he was alive, he used to eat many of the offerings made to him. The fish's body was half the surface of Lake Yodel and has been eaten by many pasties. The adept pointed the fish out to his followers and said, "Don't eat offerings, don't eat offerings. We say monks eat offerings and bhikkhus can eat poison. But if we haven't practiced Dharma and do not eat offerings for sure, it is not good enough to take the easy way out and eat offerings just because you are ordained." The transmission of the Vinaya says, "It is better to eat a piece of iron burning with the tongues of flame. People with loose ears who lack proper restraint should not eat the district's plants." That is when people with loose ethics eat the food offerings of the faithful. It is if they were eating a piece of molten iron. However, those who keep ethics and put the right effort into their studies and abandonments of delusions may eat such offerings. If you are not putting offerings in these dishes, eating offering is like taking a loan. It is all too easy not to do things properly and just put donations and offerings into your purse. But a difficult time will come in the future life when you repay the honor with the flesh of your body. Even when the lamas get a request to say prayers for someone, if they merely write out a receipt to withhold money and do not say the prayers and dedication, they will definitely have to repay the honor with the flesh from their bodies in future life. Here is such a story. A large frog with many smaller creatures feeding on it was found inside a Buddha, and a degree Lama him the things washes down the river that day. It happened to be a tree trunk, and when they removed the bark, they discovered a huge frog being eaten by many smaller creatures. They said the first creature was a Lama, who had eaten the offerings made to him, and the second was the chief attendant of some Kalki Lama. My guru, the embodiment of Vajradhara, personally told me that when we were to come, there was a huge animal resembling a yak hair tent in Doshu Lake. The creature was submerged into the lake in summer, but in winter, when the lake ice over, its bank would retreat from the surface, and many creatures, bird and life, would feed on it. These are occasional hells, and we have created and are still creating countless causes for each rebirth. We must therefore think again and again about how we will have to experience such suffering.
Good.
Just.
Okay. How does it feel? It's not very nice place, right? Even we go to last weather without jacket, we cannot walk 5-10 minutes even outside, right? And we go to this place, it's not very nice. There's no heat, there's no thick jacket. Anyway, then what the cause? Tenley Chanya Jewa, the Lemon Sasha, Mandu the Jewa, Tajik, Leon Sasha, Mangazuke, Lemon Sasha. Sasha Tanang Sasha.
So just like it is said in this text, that we have created so many different causes, to be born in these hell realms, and we have also caused, we have created a cause to be born in the upper realms, in the heaven and so forth.
근데 다 저저 시간을 가대. 아니 다 제대로 이어들이 제대로 가리라 시다마다 하려고.
And so it, what determines what we're going to experience in our next life is the karma that is activated at that time. So if it activates the good karma, then we'll have a good rebirth in the future, even though we have accumulated so many bad karmas, because we have created good karmas also. And the same with the bad karma. So if we activate the bad karma, then that's what we're going to experience first.
진짜 당당하죠, 그렇지. 개화치고를 샴바 공고리 이제 공고를 normal 소바타고 그래. 생전에 이제 공 랍돼야 돼. 시간을 같은 데지 그냥 제도와 있나? 아니 다 같이 되는 게 그래서.
So what is more likely to happen or more likely to be activated at the time of death depends on how familiar we are during our lifetime with the things. So if we are more familiar with the positive things, then it will be more easier for positive things, thoughts to come up in our mind at the time of death. If we are more familiar with the negative things, then more negative thoughts will be more likely to come at the time of death, and that will activate the bad things. So then we will experience the bad result in the future.
뭐 된지다 답변나 사냥개가 된다고 사셔요나. 아니 딱 어디지? 양 밑에 시간을 같이 코로 쌓여만 거지. 저도 개로 된지 샘증에 되는 시와이나. 아니 되게 계속 되는 거래서.
And so if we die with the negative thoughts at the time of death, then that will activate the negative karma that we have created, and that will result us born in the rebirth in the lower realms.
아니 남중아도 배역이 시소리를 가지 밀통고나 대종사람들네 딱 무야다. 근데 대라 컨트롤해야다. 근데 마치 해서라고 그래서.
So like negative thoughts, jealousies, anger, attachment, and so forth. So if we die with that kind of thought, then then it's very certain to be born in the lower realm. So usually we're advised not to provoke this kind of negative thoughts at the time of death. And so if somebody is dying, very sick and dying, then you should not talk about the things that make the person to have this kind of negative thoughts.
아니 맞아 뒤가봐야지. 라면 잘 맞져가지고 아니 정도 안 받는 바뀌어야죠. 근데 계속 이게 제도와이나 양코 문득친지 이봐야냐. 대표적으로 기와서는 양 되게 떠오르고 개와 사셔가지고 시다네. 내가 제대로 드리고 그래서.
So at that time, if we talk about the positive things, good qualities, like compassion, bodhicitta, and so forth, or recite the mantras, and prayers in front of him. So if he dies, thinking about the mantras, the prayers, and positive thoughts, then that will activate the positive karma, and so then it will, then the person will have good rebirth as soon as he dies.
근데 나도 중간에 가는 것도 믿으래. 나 쉬워 빠지셔야 되고. 아니 지금 밑에 코너라고 밑에 코너가 있지. 사회가 사와 차이 총하는 거는 다티 산에 얘기가 셔요 그래서.
And so just like it says here, when about to be born there, your desire called body, you desire called bodily sensation at the point of death. And so if when you have that, then that is the sign that one is going to be born in the cold heaven.
어디 되는 다 자녀한테도 집어쳐 그래서.
So similar with the hot heaven.
대자 된지 가지만도 다 동시에 돌로 가서 권전한 단단 작업도 단단 작업도 그냥 또 용도 와서.
And so some people they have this, they feel very cold at the time of death, and then they say, no matter how much cloth you put on them, they say, bring me more cloth, I feel very cold, I feel cold. So no matter how much more cloth you put on them, they still feel cold. So those are the kind of signs.
어디 다 자녀들 다 자녀세디 간제게 다 자녀도 봐세 또 니든 참아요. 그래서도 다들 또 암주치가로 sembl지 샤 대야겠지 지금 사자당 그래서 따지가 되겠어.
And so like it says here, the cold hells are on the level with the hot hell and lies to the north, which is why it's land of ours. And this is separated each other vertically by 2,000 yojanas.
아니 맞아 자가 도시는 다 살 친구 된 거지. 아니 대그 아니 로쇼라 아니 그래 사냐다 아니 샹쇼라 아니 자녀들이
비올라.
다시 또 월세로 다 오그냥 봐 다케로 시거나 샹쇼를 봐요 그래서.
And so like it said in the hot hell, it's below the Bodh Gaya, right? Below how many yojanas, how many thousand yojanas below Bodh Gaya. And it's more towards the south. The hot hell is more towards the south, and then the cold hell is more in the north, of Bodh Gaya.
Therefore, the Tibetan is the
North.
Shangshul.
Yeah.
Shangshul can't take a tamar is. Dal Hoshe the Kutanish, Nani Tau here is.
So that's why it says that's why this land of ours, so Jang was referring to Tibet, right? So land of ours is very cold because that's in the north.
Because Tibet is very cold always, and then South India is hot because they are hot place. And this is a, that kind of digital of that thing when they turn on to so much, some time to check. The year so much, some check to them, and when they check, they go away, came out.
And so this is again to give you an idea, geographic idea of where the place, is located. We're not exactly sure if it's really there like that.
간제세 만제 이제 니는 강 라벨 간제 누가든 것도 돼 도와도 용거예요.
It doesn't matter where the place is, but when you are born there, you really go through this kind of experience of the suffering that is explained here.
근데 다 동카 나가지 드라마가 남아도 자리가 남아도 요거지. 근데 요거 가지고 공론으로 잡아도 맨 제자가 있나? 다 전혀 게임지 대소미가 그래서
And so if you have this kind of signs of desire for cold bodily sensation at the time of death, then it's very certain that you're going to be born in the hot, in the cold hells.
다 된리기 지금 전야시나 전야 제기 거지. 대나네 다 시용 차동아 청주와로 아니 사제 차동 자동 되어 왔지. 아니 뒤 떠려야 가와가 보이고 왔지. 아니 땅 감법도 바나라야 아니 롱창모요. 아니 조이 값다나 니마서 된다. 지금 파도 소수 넘어가 통고요. 소수 감발 라방 통고요. 말했어. 근데 오지기 말했어.
So the place where one is going to be born in the cold hell is the same. It's just, the place when one is born is all covered with with snow mountains. So, like it says, high as 2,000 yojanas, right? And the winds, the ground is all ice, all snow, all ice, and the wind that runs in between those mountains is all very cold, and there is no. It's so high that you can't see the sky at all. It's all covered with the snow mountains, so high, and you can't see sun, snow, moons, and you will not have fire or anything, so no lights at all, and it's completely dark. And it's so dark that you can't even see the movement of your own limbs. So that's like a common place of all the hot and all the 8 cold hells. But then because of the suffering that each go through, and they have different degree of suffering and different lifespan and so forth. And so the lifespan is so long that we cannot even count, right? And they count by saying that how long it takes to empty the grain from that container that holds this much of grain and so forth. So the first one is called the blister, right? So with the body, the being in the cold hell will have a blister in their body because of so cold. And then the burst blisters, where these blisters will burst, and there's the blood, pus and limbs and all this will come out of those blisters, and then also you go through a lot of sufferings, even from the drips of those blood and so forth. And so, for example, if we have cut off our finger, the piece of finger that dropped on the floor, so you feel the pain here in your hand, but you do not feel the pain in the finger there, right? And so in the hot hell and the cold hell, not only the body, that has cut, that sphere has pain, but also the part of the body that is dropped off, cut off a sphere, will also have pain. And every drop of blood or pus that comes out of that also experiences pain.
안에 대내한테는 봐 안에 다 되게 동안인데 다 아주이세마도 같이 잡아도 되게 동안이에요.
And then there is they move all ever since birth. So that's so cold that you can't say anything. You just burn from shivering.
아니 대내야 봐주는 깨서 다 잡아도 다 특징이 마음도 다 되게 동안이 뭐하러.
And then below that is the hue, so where you cannot say anything, and so you just say hue from the back of your throat.
아니 대내 봐 동안 제와이나니 소소 카다한테도 너도 저도 샤시고도 통도도 같이 카다한테 신고된다고 어떤 점이죠? 카다한테 하면서 그게 라마도 봐. 어떤 점이 동안에서 되게 그랬어.
And then the next one is like so your jaws is so cold that your jaws are closed or open, and so if it's open, it just stays open. If it's closed, it just stays closed all the time.
좋아. 어디지 되네. 다 되네 파르는 수수리 아니 뼈만 메토 보니 바뀌는 거. 좋아. 오바다 메토 오바라다 깨는 거. 되네 파르는 메토 뼈마다 깨는 거. 되네 파르는 다 메토 피까지 수보 가와이나 간주면 주가로 자도 똥 바뀌는 거. 되게 좀 뭐예요.
And then it says that your body turns to blue, right? So with the cold, your body turns to blue, and then it cracks. And they call it like the Utpala flower. Utpala is a blue lotus, so your body turns into a blue, and it cracks, like the petals from the lotus, and so that's what called the blue lotus, cracks.
어다 된게 동아이에 그래서 다 동아 된게 다 된게 맞지. 대체 제초가나 제초데 다 레전드도 겨왕하시다. 어다 되제 제 겨와쳐가나 되는 저거 대화요 봐. 저 겨와쳐가나 저거 동아요 봐. 어다 캠면에 맞는 걸 lok다체도 다 되게 얘기가 소리스.
And so and then below that is the cold hell beings, who has their body turns red again. After that, it goes red and then cracks thousands times, just like the red lotus. And anyway, so what is the cause that brings us to be born in these realms? It's especially the wrong view, thinking of not believing that there is a past and future, not believing that there is that there will be suffering if we create non-virtuous action, and there will be happiness if we create virtuous action. And so some people who don't believe in that and say, so it doesn't matter, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. And thinking like that kind of a wrong view can cause one to be born in the hell, in the cold hells. So these are the main cause. Of course, generally, all the 10 non-virtuous actions can cause us to be born in the cold hells. And so that's about the cold hells, and then there's next one is the occasional hell. Occasional hell, and is you experience the hellish suffering only occasionally, and some maybe in the daytime or maybe in the nighttime only.
And patient people said that to Gintin that my patient said was Kanatika Lapsa Kanata, Gintin Lapta, Manzola Lavana, and a Suzo which you chudok, and a Patchi, Congress and Johnny Javatrishavana, and you think you was a chair in your so.
So this occasional hells, with the many different shapes of body, like a pastel-like body and so forth. So here, Pabongka explained with the story, of a monk, who said, I'm going to pound you with the pastel like that, and then because of that, and he turned into, occasional hell being with the form of a pastel like that. And so that's because Pabongka was teaching this mostly mostly to the monks at that time. So that's why he gave it some. But we can apply this to ourselves here also. Our Dharma friends, the Sanghas here, the Dharma friends. If we say, if we get angry with each other and say bad words like that, then that can cause us to be born in the hell realm, with these kind of forms.
This country is very bad words.
So people out of anger, people call them with a nickname. names, bad words like nicknames. You look like a dog or something like that. So that kind of words. Do you use a lot here?
I don't know, do you use that? Maybe not much, right? Yeah, I don't know. Usually we have some, you look like dog, you look like pig. What do you call it? The Suzu same thing, calls in the Lavana. And then they go Suzu dog the picture, let's not over.
So, sometimes you see people, the kids, they're jumping a lot, and you say, hey, you monkey. So out of anger, so, or if you say, a dog or a pig and so forth, then that will create a cost for us to be born as such beings.
One means we say you look nut with one means. He looks nuts.
Nuts?
Nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah, people like that. Also we call them crazy or crazy here, crazy. If you are really, usually some first we say just joke. Then we have to use this word. Then we get angry, then we say really you're crazy then. Exactly like that. Then they create to you become born to crazy and you have to be very careful,
What are the words you are using normally?
what they say here.
Another like
Sometimes stupid.
Yeah, stupid, so you're stupid, I think this is actually, people said it a lot, right? Yeah, like that. We have to be very careful, And Buddha said, we don't know what quality you have. Even we say, Buddha said now, same as, place to under the ground, very hot, fire. But above that, cover, above that, just cover some regular, same as normal. We don't know the well fire. We jump that, we just walk that, we jump that. Same as that, we don't know where's the holy beings. Like me, I can, how can I say, judge.
Judge.
Judge. Like me, judge. Otherwise, no one can judge. Therefore, don't say, don't think bad things for others. One, Indian masters, close eyes, there are 3 monkeys. One monkey, close eyes. Don't look at everything. Then you look many also bad things. Say, don't look at everything. You look, then you see, then you have attachment, anger, jealousy, you find. Then one, do this. Don't listen everything. If you listen everything, you heard many bad things. Then you also care that Lord. The one just zip the zip. Is there what?
That's right.
Zip.
Yeah.
But they, I go to look at this. Don't say too many things. You don't know what you say. If you don't know, you just maybe just pray that. They curse you very bad things. Therefore, 3 monkeys, 1 cross eyes, 1 do this, 1 just that. Therefore, this is a very big person. I think this is maybe Mahatma Gandhi or some, I don't know, someone said that. Therefore, for us, we don't want to just talk about it to other people. However, for us, always, I think we most talking about mouth and yeah, both right. We heard, we listen to many things, then we do gossip. We look at something, then we do gossip. Then then we say ourselves a lot of gossips. Therefore, careful. You eye, ear, your mouth. Those kind of things. The day we got nothing.
So anyway, so by saying those kind of things, then you might be born in the Krishna hell.
Then Master Momodo John Momodo was, and that was a Panalo was. And then Yamajalata, Java Sanji Jesus said that Kawan Pedro and Shamba de Layata, choose so. You make a share to Goda Chigres. Go to Yimeka Shiro, and Gonda so much of Kenichi is in it. And then Gonda so much of Yimekos and the so cheap in Yin Devala, and then the permission she said, Lapson was. Yimeka can't permission than Yamdo Gonda, and then life more Shadani, the chair, Longshi watch. Gonda Jotaba permitted to part, and it that to the party, and 미소강가 사는 것들이 계속 말해서 가르친 적은 아니 니메강 아니 선지가 소치 바꾼다 소치가 돈바 송비가 레벨에 되는 쇼마레스 다 돈을 올라서서.
And so the one of the occasional hell is where the man is experiencing all this great happiness in the nighttime, but then going through all the sufferings in the daytime, right? This was the butcher whose job was to kill animals and sell them, and that's how he survived, right? So it was during the time of Buddha Kashyapa, who advised him not to kill, but he can't not kill because that's his job, that's his profession, right? He can't kill because he has to let's say look after his family and all these things. And then Buddha Kashyapa advised him, so if you can't do it in the daytime, just abandon it in the nighttime. And then he took the vow not to kill in the nighttime. And as a result of keeping that vow of not killing in the nighttime, then he was experiencing heavenly pleasure in the nighttime. But then because he killed in the daytime, and therefore he was going through the hellish suffering in the daytime. So that was the vocational hell.
아니 그거가 둘이 가다 되가 아니 님의 거나 로염 빵 아니 제가 로염 맞지 빵 이게 대근 저거라 아들이 시험을 해서요 손도 와서 도시.
And so then again this other person who was going through all the sufferings in the night where the woman will turn into a snake and eating from the head down and so forth. So that is again resulting of not abandoning adultery in the nighttime, but abandoning it in the daytime. So in the daytime is going through all this happiness, but in the night, he goes through all the sufferings of being eaten by the woman who he was having a great time in the daytime.
Okay, this is the stories. If you really read, I'm not talking about one by one with detail. And then teneya 사자실라야 아니 최대라야 아니 다 출라야 너도 세계 신도 세계실라 예다만도 시다 지가들 미치대요. 그래서 te네 콘텐츠에 저 갑라 아니 공부실라 다 신네 아니 근데 지가님도 쇼로 파는 다 콘도로 또 맞춰봐달라 그래서 아니 콘도 파는 콘도 좋으시고 또 돼요. 아니 그 근데 지가님은 밑에 파는 저 저지라 콘도로 또 제가 그래서 te네 단나 너무 되기다 암주는 썼다는 지고 고르다. 그 또 저와도 콘도 가시기 문반을 멤버 가시 문반을 마음만도 가시 때 동일 가시 수 누가 말하고 시험을 했어. 다때 시험을 가르치는 데서나 아니 내 산지 레슨 가블라는다 콘도 강가 미사치에 맞지 지가나 대대이 되가 산지 레슨라야 아니 던쳐발라 쳐 피니 개발라 쳐서 심바시디 싫어라는데 지금 가라 다 나는 개와야 벗어서 내 로파 다 남이 심바들라 콘도 개와디야 무치고도 셈이 콘도 라바레스 내지와스 콘도 콘도 사가지 저 계속 거기다마도 가지 또 제가 있지 아니 대지 또대 다 차용 맞죠 나용 맞죠 또는 만들어 가셔도 콘도 사가레스 다 되는 것도 챙겨 받을 라가지 대가 고용 콘도 사가지 다 콘도 내 세월할 때니 콘도 동안 받으면 맞죠 대동안은 내가 통화시어서 그런 게 뭐 다시 할 때니 아니 그런 치가 되게 달라지 예다셔도 된 딱 강바샤라 따와 되지 대다와 신바대 용의 젠진의 칼라 트레이닝이 고조 같이 처럼 같이 가는 말 작은 멤버 같이 가는 말 더 가는 문제와 어떤 게 동안 용어를 했어 다시 되는 거죠 말.
And so there's this story about the captain who moved on further and saw a four-legged throne, a hungry ghost had up each leg, right? So each leg of the throne, a table, was held by the hungry ghost. And there was this man who was having a very delicious meal on that table, but then there's hungry ghosts who were holding up the table. They were like all very hungry for so eons and eons, haven't had any food or drink, and yet they couldn't have this food. So so the captain who was there, he saw him having food, and then this man told the captain not to feed this hungry ghost at all. And but then he was like very compassionate, so out of compassion he gave them some food. So each of them And so every time they eat, the food will turn into fire and then burn their system, the whole from inside. And and it will become like a pus or blood, and they will not be eatable or drinkable and so forth. So it turned into that. So giving food to them became even worse to further more their sufferings. And so then they asked, what was the cause for that? And it says that during Buddha Kashyap's time, the man who was eating, enjoying the food on the table, and had made the offerings. Made the offering to the Buddha Kashyapa, and then he said, he told he had 4 friends, and that he said, he will dedicate for them. Then they got angry with him. He says, why you offer the food to this Buddha, and they like kind of it says made this food turn into a pus, into blood, and fire and so forth. And so as a result, then they were experiencing that. And then this man who was offering became also angry with them and angry with these people. And then he said, if you pray like that, then may I be the one to be also be able to see that you're going through that suffering. And so that's why this man who was sitting on the table enjoying the food was seeing that, going there. Was the man who made the offerings and who dedicated. And then these 4 hungry ghosts who were holding the table were the 4 friends who got angry and said bad things like that.
그래서 저다 고랑기 당장에 제 고려사서 되나 고랑기야 가셔발라 실업해볼 때는 거야 다시 제가 되나 그 공소 동안이와다 나랑 동화시고 선배 되게 내가 때니 다 공소 고랑이 그래 예다에서 된 로기청을 했어. 어떤데?
And then and so even though he created very positive karma by making offerings which could have brought him to be born in the heaven in the Pure Land, but because he prayed also to be able to see their suffering, so then he was also born in a place, even though he was not going through their suffering, but then he was born in a place where he was witnessing all the sufferings that other hungry ghosts were going through.
What? Today was the team of the Tangata may not move your rest of me there. And what was.
And then also, that kind of suffering occasionally exists in our human realm as well.
And then I go, I chose the course I am, no trouble, of course, I say, and there's some much in I am, the check in the social.
And then, this mostly is likely to happen again, as Pabongka which I explained to the monks and nuns in the monastery, who are studying and practicing all the time, and people, the devotees, they go and make offerings to them. And because they are studying, they're practicing, therefore you make out of strong devotion and faith, you make these offerings. And so because it is made with that expectation, that you are expecting, that you are studying and practicing, and instead if you're doing other things, not doing the studies and practices, and just fooling around and like that, then if you accept that offering, then accept the offering is not meant for you, it's meant for the people who are studying and practicing. So if you are not doing that and you accept that offering, then that becomes like a stealing. You're taking the food that was not meant for you, that was not given to you, and that becomes like stealing. So that stealing can cause these sufferings as well.
What is that? Me, Michazuda, talk getting about the attention was. And the other courage, Munja, the nigger Rawajan, Munum Majawayana, the child.
And so they offer to you with the expectation that you will pray for them, right? So if you don't pray for them, then it becomes another stealing, negative karma, which can be born in the occasional hells like that.
And it Munum Jab, Munum Javayana,
so that was the expectation, right? When they make the offerings to you, their expectation is that you pray for them. So as long as you pray for them, then you're all right. It's all right for you to take the offerings. If you did not pray, then that becomes like a stealing.
Well, they all patients was don't want Shibuji, Jingle, Bewaji. You're telling don't take Kako, the Bewaji. Bewate, some Jamosa. They carry less than it, and then Bewa take them. Of course, I think Ramaji is
So there's a story here, right, about this, a big frog which was eaten by many other small animals. And so then when they asked about the story, what caused him to be born, and then they was said this was a lama in his previous life. This frog was a lama in his previous, a monk in his previous life, who took all the offerings but didn't really dedicate or pray for them. And now as a result, he was born as a frog, and now he has to pay back with his flesh and blood.
Okay. Anyway, today's a person. What do you say? Anyway, today's a person. Magiwa said that she much of much of which has Tawani Mewa the Remar's law. Masa the Remar, because Magiwa said, go choose.
So it's very likely to happen mostly for the monks and nuns. So Nehru Karma is not only created by the lay people but also by the ordained people. In some cases even more.
What is that? Magiwa says Gawa to Chisayo. Today the Gawa the Magiwa says some chat on the Shella can get some numbers.
And so it is very easy to create this kind of negative karma. So we have to be very conscientious about what is negative and what is not negative, and try not to create any of the negative karmas at all.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the little bit.
So it's pretty straightforward, and there isn't as much you won't understand, right?
And if you don't like, just skip, okay? I'm not open. You can maybe put in your book. But just put here. Part of this here. We just go into the nice things. But usually, in Buddhist teaching, many books, they don't experience much the good things, because they give education for the compassion, bodhicitta, loving kindness, what benefits, but they don't talk about too many that. They talk about all the problems. Because you have to understand the problems, that you know the cause of the problems, then try to stop the cause. Therefore they explain again and again. Then many
and then you prove that through many scriptures and logical reasonings.
Right? You don't see much always talk about hells, agonies, then sufferings. Because Dunga de Shiva yana, and Dunga the Tante Lochi. And they take Tabala Jig.
So teachings emphasize more on those sufferings and more on the bad things that may happen to us. Because we know that, then we'll find out the cause for that. And if we find out the cause, then we will not create the cause, right? And so it's more important to talk about those. And so it's very important to understand the suffering. Some people don't even have what is really suffering and what not, and there are many sufferings that we're not exposed to, and we don't understand that. So those we understand through the teachings. So we'll come to understand those through the teachings, and when we have that understanding, then we'll have the wish to be free from those sufferings. And again, you will not have that wish to be free from sufferings if you don't feel like, if you're not scared of that, or if you don't feel terrible about that. And without that feeling, you will not take refuge. Right? So you have to feel bad about it. You have to be scared of that suffering, and then you will want to be protected from that. Then you will seek for refuge. And so that is the cause, that fear, that feeling of terrible about that suffering is the fear. It is the cause to take refuge in the three jewels.
And they teach and running over them to do. They let you be Niba, Talamakan, Sanji, Kenjosana, Yoba, Shiba, Yichivadala, that jump to Jerry's. Then you never go with them and I'm going to jump to Jerry's.
And so this is one of the causes for taking refuge in the three jewels. The other cause is believing that Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the three objects of refuge, has the power to protect us from these sufferings. So believing that they have the power, and being scared of the sufferings. So these two are the cause for taking refuge in the three jewels. And so without the cause, there cannot be result, right? That's for sure, right? That's natural.
Jimin Rever Yoro,
Is there a result without a cause?
can you find anything? Because the Cheshu, the gentleman, the manual, and just Zotala Mateo, and jail.
So no matter what kind of result it is, it all has cause, right? There has to be cause for the results to exist.
Okay, it's like that, and I hope you all meditation to call. No, this is not just talking about me. I'm not looking by myself. This is a very, so do not make it. What it is, Nielson and Gibello, the Tiawayana, and it can be taken the 8th of yours.
So just like in the Guru Puja, it says that by generating a strong sense of fear towards the sufferings of the lower realm, then we take refuge in the three jhanas.
Then your meditation is, just you go there. Just you're the person to the feel that. Just that you can But if you're scared, don't do, okay? And it's slowly. And like that, thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Isn't it a selfish motivation to try to generate fear from my own, to relieve my own suffering? Isn't that bad? Isn't that selfish? As far as the motivation.
다시 오래. semje
Semje
예디 쳤다 라동아 탄도잖아. 대양 치도록. 저 지하대 신
그다음에 소소 삼바데 삼바데 삼바들어. 소소 다 동아다도 삼바데 안도 삼바라.
대도 신나 나도 좀 들어가.
네. 근데 일단 두자 지금 말하고 있어.
대단하다. 저런 그런 걸 알아야 돼. 대단 그런 걸 알아야 돼. 소소 주보 해야지 봐. 수치를 가래 맞다고 소소 주보식 대화를 타내려잖아. 대란도 해서. 되게 대화를 보는 거 알았어. 다 대만 봐지. semje 예기 쳤다 라 동안에 타내려잖아. 대야 버렸어. 약쳐 버렸어.
어떻게 우충을 남차고 왔다. 야보사. 내 말에는 되게 많았다. 그래서 생기 상마 다음에 소소랑 지고 상담 제발이나 당가 동화 탈고 상담 최 제발은 양도 상바라. 우충을 남고 와라.
우충을 남고 와라. 대우 연소도 말아. 우충을 남고 와라. 연소도 말아.
네, 그래서 대도가라다 제단도 두자마라. 나 대장 남았다는 두자는 제단 안 두자마.
아저도 말해. 네. 그래서 우충을 남고 다 차도로.
So when you have that thought, wanting oneself, free from the suffering, it is bad compared to the Mahayana thought. So somebody who is thinking about others. So when we're supposed to think about others, if we want to think about ourselves, that's bad. Right? Mm-hmm. But when you think about yourself, that's not necessarily bad. So when you just think about that itself, it's not bad. But when you compare with the other thought, that's bad. But it's so anyway. So when we talk about the three capable beings, the three scopes. So first is wanting oneself to be free from the suffering, and the second one is the little higher is wanting oneself to be free from all the sufferings. And the third one is not only oneself but wanting all other beings to be free from oneself. So that's the highest. So compared to that, you can say that's bad, because if you don't have that, if you have the selfish thought, then you will not think about others, right? Mm-hmm. So in order to think about others, you have to get rid of the selfish thought. So for thinking about others, it is to be abandoned. But generally, it's not really necessary to be abandoned. So not necessarily bad. So that's right. So you have to have that for yourself first before you can have it for others.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
running
So that's the process, right? So first you think about yourself, then you can think about others. So there's a saying that if you don't think about yourself, even even in the dream, there's no way you can think about others. Mm-hmm. So in order to think about others, first you have to think about yourself. So here, when you're talking about the practice of this more scope, So you have to think about yourself first, right? So you're thinking about yourself being born in the lower realm and going through those sufferings, and then imagining that you're going through those sufferings and generating strong sense of fear towards those sufferings, and and with that fear, then you take refuge. You seek for refuge, to be protected from those suffering, and you take refuge in the three jewels. And then this is just like myself, no one wants to experience these sufferings. No one experiences these sufferings. If you think like that, then that becomes positive.
Okay?
Yeah,
Good.
thanks.
Okay, that's your question.
It said in here, nihilist views causes you to be born there. So what if somebody who has a nihilist view, they don't believe in past or future lives, but they do abide by cause and effect, they don't harm others, they help them. So they kind of follow cause and effect by not harming and wanting to help, but they don't have any belief in past or future lives, they have that nihilist view. Does that still cause them to have this result?
So it is pretty hard, to follow the karmic law of cause and effect without believing in past and future lives. So, it is really, to properly create that and to properly follow that karmic law of cause and effect, even though you don't maybe literally say past and future life, but you, in the meaning, you believe in that. And so, in many tenets, so even though they say they don't believe in that, but they accept what we explain as a law of cause and effect. So even though they don't directly accept that, but in meaning they just sort of accept that. And so if there is somebody who follows the law of cause and effect very well, but don't believe in that, then yeah, you can say the person creates a cause to be born in the cold heaven. So according to the Buddhist tenet, that's how it is explained, but there may be different explanation about according to the different tenets.
Okay? Okay, thank you. Then we stop.
What page is